Good morning, lads. Today we want to learn about TNT. And first off, I want to mention that the Minecraft wiki has been super helpful in making this video and with all the information that they give. So to start off, I want to mention that this is a weird situation. I feel like the TNT should be lit, but it isn't. So first I want to mention, we'll start with what lights TNT. It's a good start. So these are the most common ways. I'm sure there's a few weird ones, but that won't be necessary. Lava, TNT, if it explodes, will then light the TNT that are in the blast radius, flint and steel, a flame bow, fire charge, and any redstone signal. So that can be a redstone signal. Yeah, if TNT is touching a powered block, it will light. It's a good way to phrase it. So let's go ahead and take some tools. So let's start with blast resistance. And this is where the Minecraft wiki was absolutely instrumental, or very instrumental. So they went ahead and labeled them. So I used the wiki's labels for the strength of items. So this category is 0 to 0.8. Basically, if these things are anywhere near TNT, they will be absolutely obliterated. The thing that I think is most interesting to notice is packed ice. And that's only because blue ice is so much stronger, like 3 times the blast resistance. But you got obvious things like a trapped chest. Entities will just be obliterated by TNT. Saplings, any kind of plant, string, other TNT, I guess that really doesn't disappear, but it lights it. But I left it here. Glass, you know all the things. Then this is 1 to 3.5. Some conduit, all the furnaces. Interesting that the lanterns are here. Also interested to see dripstone is stronger than dripstone block. Bamboo. So I think I arranged it left to right except for the lapis block. Don't know why I need to remember their names. So this would be like 1, 2, 3, 3.5-ish. So that's about how I arranged it. Interesting to note that a chest is a lot stronger than a trapped chest. Signs, conduits, kelp blocks, lodestones, cauldrons, all the ores, all the planks. Interesting to note as well that planks are more blast resistant than logs. Very interesting. Bone block, most of the workstations, all the furnaces, droppers. Yep, lots of important things. Dirt is not in this list. Dirt is actually over here. I just needed that dirt there to grow bamboo because apparently it has a blast resistance higher than other crops. Actually, I want to find that because it was interesting. No, it's just one. I guess I could have put banners here, shulk sensors, bookshelves. These are just examples. There are tons more blocks. One day I might fill all these out, but not today. Over here we've got 4 to 6. So, let's see. Yeah, cobble, I was right, is the only 4. Very interesting. But then you've got the terracottas, you've got hoppers. There's also a spawner at a durability of 5, but I didn't want to risk actually spawning things. A bell, the iron products, most of them. This is the grindstone. It is one of the few that has a stronger durability out of all the workstations. So then you've got the normal stones. Believe that's dried coral. Yep. And interesting also is Deep Slate. I feel like Deep Slate should have a lot higher blast resistance since it can't be insta-mined. So I think right now all the ores are the same, but I think that the Deep Slate ores should have a higher blast resistance. But that's just me being petty. These are the only 9s. You've got the Dragon Egg, Endstone, Endstone Brick, and Walls and the like. But only like 4 9s. Very interesting. And then we get into the truly blast proof items. Like, find an explosion that can destroy these, and it will be impressive. We've got the liquids at 100, which doesn't quite make sense because, as I'll show later, they stop explosions. So I'm not sure if they're actually blast resistance or if they just nullify the blast altogether. But then we've got the obvious things that are made from obsidian, like an ender chest, an enchanting table, a lodestone. Anvil was interesting. I didn't think it would make the list, but also ancient debris is obvious, and netherite block is obvious. So I think this has 600. The rest have like 1200 durability, not durability, but whatever point system you're calling it. And then the liquids have 100. And then you get into the very interesting thing of the blocks that have I think it has to just be a joke, but 3,600,000 blast resistance. So these I've actually never used before, so I'm really not sure how the structure block or the jigsaw block are used. All I know is you can only get them by typing in a command. Speaking of commands, it's the same way you get a command block, bedrock, and in portal frames, and the in portal itself, that block right there, the one I just broke. Interesting. I didn't know you could do that. That's cool. Whatever that block's called. The in portal. These are in portal frames. So, actually, while I'm here, I wanted to see if I can grab an eye real quick. This is a little off topic, but I've ran into it a few times, and it's quite annoying. So if you're in creative mode, and you just try and throw in all the eyes, it will not light. You need there's a little white part in the eye in the upper right hand corner on every single one. So go through and check. This one does not. Darn, hoping that would work. So, and the way to get it is to face towards it. So, for example, this one, if I face this direction, it's going to work for some weird reason. But there, the way you're facing it goes in the upper left-hand corner. So if you face this way, it should work. And apparently the rest were in the upper left-hand corner, so that's lucky. But yep, that's how you make it. And apparently it doesn't follow the rules in creative. Oh yeah, it's right there. So very interesting. Also, blocks I had not heard of or used, like actually I have heard of the barrier, but I've never used it. And then there's another one right here, which is called light. That's right, there's a block called light, and you can only see it if you're holding this. But yeah, that's it. So I'm trying to remember if you can. Yeah, you can place blocks on it. You can't place blocks on that, but if you're holding it, you can see where the light was. You can break it. Only if you're holding it in your hand, though. It's very weird. Don't know what use it would have. Unless there's like that one dark spot in your world, you hop into creative and place light there. It's funny. But yep, command blocks, all these things have insane durability. They cannot be destroyed. Alright, so now let's check the blast radius, and to do that we're using something on the 0 scale. Let's go ahead and get rid of these. So I've got scaffolding going out in 10 directions. These are just there for decoration's sake, which reminds me, actually, another tangent. What do you see? Do you see a diamond? Do you see 4 triangles? Do you see the square of this first scaffolding? Do you see a square in all the scaffolding made up? Do you see a square with an X in it? Do you just see the X? What do you see? Type that in the comments below, because I'm curious. I see a square. My eyes generally focus on the square, even though it's off kilter. Alright. And I think I'm going to do 10 explosions just to see, because explosions are random. And that of course would happen. Alright, that seems about right. Let's see. So there's 4 remaining in a line of 10, so that means it went out 6 blocks. Something important to realize though is when you light TNT, it jumps. So that time it jumped straight up. That time it jumped up and to the left, which means the blocks on this side are at more risk than the blocks on that side. But it's pretty RNG where the explosion actually ends up and damages. But if you are more than 6 blocks away, or your project's more than 6 blocks away, you have a higher probability. Obviously, if your 10 blocks are out, you're completely safe and your projects are safe. So now just a bit of a visual on the durability of blocks. So basically it means the probability of it. Let's see if I can find blackstone. I put in block for some reason. I meant black. And there's blackstone, and we'll go with dirt. So if you have a bunch of blackstone and a bunch of dirt, more blackstone will survive than dirt. Unless they're in close proximity like this, then they will all explode. And this is also a great example of what will happen to blast-proof blocks. Absolutely nothing. Something else that's interesting to note is this: just because we're enclosed in blast-proof blocks does not mean that damage is not being done outside of the box. So the explosions are happening in here, but the effect is still happening all around. So a few other things is interactions with eggs. And by eggs, I obviously mean... Actually, I'm curious about that now. Entities. Let's also grab a bucket of water, because that's also something that's really important to note. So TNT will kill entities, and they will drop things. Obviously, entities on the ground will explode. But if you have water, and we already showed that dirt is very easily exploded. Throw a cow and a creeper in there. Okay, it still killed the cow. I'm gonna go ahead and box this in, because I think it should kill the cow. But I'm not positive, so we'll try it again. Gonna need to kill that creeper before it leaves. Yep, it should kill the cow, but it won't break blocks. So I think the damage is less to entities. Excuse me, buddy. Thank you. It's less to blocks. Water destroys those, doesn't it? No, it didn't. That's interesting. So those have a blast resistance of 0. They're gonna blow up because it traveled through them. I'm doing great examples. TNT propulsion is actually one of the most important facts about it, is they will push each other when lit. And you can use that knowledge to make cannons. So water will stop everything from being exploded. 4 TNT will be put there, lit, and then this one will be put later, and those 4 will propel the 4th one. And of course, they do stack. So if you have even more TNT, it will go even further. Which I just love these. And this does work for a player to some extent. See if I can get in there. Nope. So it will launch a player. Oops. Wow, I've used this a lot. It's running out of TNT. But if I were standing here when that went off, it would launch me. But if I was in survival, it would just kill me. So you can make things like this, that if you surround it with TNT and have water in the center, it can launch a player straight up in the air. I made a whole video with these cannons. You can go find that. But that's pretty much it for what I wanted to share about TNT. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and all the YouTube things. See ya.